Welcome to video 3 on hypothetical questions. Hi, my name is Darren Tay, and in this video, I'll be sharing with you how to answer hypothetical questions. And hypothetical questions, it's a category of interview question which is gaining traction in the interview landscape. More and more companies, more and more schools, they're asking hypothetical questions. Why? Because number one, it really tests the problem solving, the critical thinking abilities of the candidate. Number two, it makes it very unlikely for the candidate to prepare an answer beforehand, to memorize an answer beforehand, to be coached of an answer beforehand, because there are just too many permutations, the possible scenarios you can give in a hypothetical question. And the third one is hypothetical questions tend to also test the creative faculties of the candidates. So I think it's very, very helpful. There are a lot of business reviews which publish showing how companies increasingly they are asking hypothetical questions. Instead of simply just asking, oh, do you think of yourself as a good leader? Would you say that you have a positive personality? Would you say that you're a good leader? Everyone is going to say yes, correct? Everyone is going to be asking me if I'm a good leader. Oh, yes, I'm a good leader. Nobody in their right mind is going to say no if you're already attending that interview and you want that position very, very badly. Yeah. So when they give you a hypothetical, for instance, share with me, now you have a team member, you're the team leader of the group. The team member has failed to submit work for 3 separate occasions already to meet the deadline. How would you deal with that situation? That is a hypothetical. For example, now you see a friend take a picture of a patient, right, with a particular skin disorder and post it on his private Facebook group. Share with me, you know about this, right? What would you do? Yeah, would you whistleblow? Would you report? Would you not report, and why? That is a hypothetical question. Yes? Or plan, imagine now you have to plan for vacation for your family in 2 weeks' time. How would you go about doing it? So instead of asking, what's your personality? How do you go about planning, doing event management? They just give you a hypothetical and then you see how well you answer that particular question. Now, let's dive in straight. How do you answer a hypothetical question? There are 3 steps in total. Step number 1 is to understand the facts of the hypothetical. Hypothetical questions, simply they are scenario-based questions. So let's understand the facts. We call it the factual matrix. And facts, we can see it in 2 ways. Number 1, the facts that are expressly stated. So facts which are mentioned in the interview by the interviewer. For instance, you are a team leader of the group, team member fails to submit work on 3 separate occasions, fail to meet the deadline, what would you do? These are expressly stated known facts. Then, what is the other area that you need to take note of would be unknown, or rather implied or silent. They are not mentioned. That is where you can either, 1, clarify with the interviewer, or may I just check whether or not this particular team member has any issues, medical conditions, family issues that is shared on either occasions or perhaps with someone else. So you can clarify, or number 2, you can draw reasonable assumptions. Sometimes the interviewers, they will say, it's okay, you can just draw the reasonable assumptions and how that would affect your conclusion. So you can draw reasonable assumptions and say that, oh, assuming this, my answer would be this. Assuming this now, my answer would be this. Yes? So we have to understand that just for step 1 on facts, there are 2 areas that we need to understand. Now, once we have ascertained the facts, we then now go on to step number 2. Step number 2 is the meat of your response. Step number 2 refers to your reasoning. The reason behind why you would choose to act in a way or the other. For instance, you see a girl struggling for her dear life. She's about to drown in the swimming pool. All you have to do is to just stretch out, pull her to safety with no harm done to you whatsoever. You chose not to save the girl, you laughed, and the girl died. Now the parents decide to sue you for not saving a child. Question, are you legally obliged to actually save a stranger who's about to drown in the swimming pool? So that can be a hypothetical. Now, the reasoning. Would you choose to help? Would you choose not to help? They are informed based on several reasoning elements. Number 1, you can take note of this. We call it rule or regulation. Because the rule said so, like I do not litter, I do not hurt someone, I do not enter someone else's house without permission. That is because the rule said so, right? Therefore, my answer would be this. Second, even if the rule says that, well, you do not necessarily need to pick up a banana skin that's on the floor if it's not thrown by you, even though you know that there are a lot of people walking by, they might step and slip and fall, even though the rule says you don't necessarily have to pick it up. But I would still choose to pick it up. Why? Because the reasoning is now not a rule or regulation. The reasoning now, it's because of number 2, based on some moral values, based on my moral compass, based on some code of ethics and conduct, which tells me that I would want to do something to prevent injury to others if it's within my means. I feel that that's the right thing to do, and to apply kindness to one another, even though I'm not the one who caused the banana skin to be there in the first place. Just like the girl about to drown in the swimming pool, I did not cause the girl to be in there. I'm not the teacher in a relationship of trust, nor am I a parent of the child. Yeah, so technically, while I'm not obliged to save, I would still choose to save a fellow human being. Yeah, unless I do not know how to swim, then I'll probably call someone else who knows how to swim, right? So why would I still choose to help a fellow human being, even though the law does not say specifically that you have to save? Yeah. Well, I would say that it's probably because of my moral compass, because of moral values that would inform me to save. So that is the second reasoning element. The third reasoning element is due to industry practice, because that is something that's been done in the industry. Like, for example, in the industry, we know that this is to be served to the customer, this is to be given to the customer, therefore I would choose to act in a similar way. Maybe free delivery is given for this in this particular industry above a certain order, so therefore I would probably practice the same. Yeah, at a fast food restaurant, if you tip and trip over and then you spill your Coke, you probably can get one replacement with no questions asked, maybe a one-time, because they give you a benefit of doubt, not because the rule said so, but because it is an industry practice. Now, the final one is due to precedence, because it's been done before, so therefore people tend to follow and then accord you the same benefit. Yeah. Now, step number 3, the final step is, what is your conclusion? Yeah. So you will need to reiterate. If you're not already stated at the start, then you have to state it. Step number 3, what is the conclusion? How do you solve? How do you resolve? The interviewers, they may disagree with your conclusion. They may disagree with that, but they may still agree with the reasoning. I remember when I went for my law school interview, at the end of the day, the conclusion, the hypothetical was, if there's this particular person who knows the whereabouts of a bomb in Singapore and it's about to explode and it's going to hurt a lot of people, only this person knows the whereabouts of the bomb. Would you torture or would you not torture that individual? So it's an ethical dilemma, right? Now, the answer that I gave, after that, the interviewer said, I do not agree with the conclusion, but I agree with your reasoning. So make sure you flesh out the reasoning, even if the person disagrees with the final conclusion. Well, perhaps at least you show the critical thinking process and the reasoning process. So I hope these techniques and strategies, they are useful for you, and I wish you all the best.